thing on? Is this song over? I don't know. Just wait for the break here. Well, everybody smashes the like button in the face. Only push the like button in the face.
Last stream, people were asking for the name and the artist of this song, so that they could tap them for themselves and listen to later. They were.
I can find it. Become a patron today. What's up, everybody? It's Monday. You could hear us jibber jabbering there at the beginning. Somebody was asking about the tracks, the audio tracks, the tracks that play on the beginning. I pay for licensing for music. So if you want to listen to the music at the beginning of the show, you can either listen to it at the beginning of the show, or you could pay for licensing and download your own copies. Mm-hmm. So to those of you that are wondering, I have a license to play all those intro songs. I download them from Artlist is where I get them from. You could choose whatever site you want to download your music from. You do you, baby. You do you. I do me. I pay for licensing. So, yeah. I don't know who does all the intro songs. I wish I knew more aptly who does it. But if you want a list, become a patron today, or sign up or become a member today. Oh my God, it's Monday. You better become a member. Oh my God, you got to join up and become a member, and I'll give you the weather report and whoever writes those songs. There we go. Yeah. As you guys can tell, I don't know if you guys can tell. I know Alyssa can tell. I'm a little irate today. I'm if I had a madness meter, a eye twitch meter. You know when you get so mad your eye starts twitching? You know how it's going on. That's happening right now. I got the eye twitch rage, my friends. And it has nothing to do with you guys. So I'm going to do my best to save you from being penalized. You always got to say it penalized, because then people go like, is he saying penis? No, I'm saying penalized. Monday, baby. Anyhow. I will try to stop from penalizing you guys for my really intense situation that we got going on around here. As you guys know, we're trying to buy a new property so that we could move, so that we could do a new fish room, so we could be up north, so we could blah, 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 have more land, do more projects, make more YouTube videos. Make more fish YouTube videos for you guys, and like how to incorporate your garden into your aquascaping and blah, 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 blah. All those great projects I want to do right now are beholden to an appraisal from a Mr. Bankman. Mr. Bankman came in and said that the appraisal on the property is approximately, I want to give you guys an exact number or whatever. I think it was our appraisal came up $52,000 shy of what's going on, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm gonna be real honest with you guys. We used our we already put all the money in there that we could put in there, and we don't have an extra $52,000 to make up the gap. So when I say eye-twitching rage, it's sort of just like a stress-induced anger situation of being wildly frustrated at a situation that there isn't much that I can do about. It's sort of out of my control at this point. It's in God's hands at this point. The unfortunate thing is, not only is this going to be wildly upsetting if this deal falls through, it's also going to be... it's going to be a negative. So if you had a bank balance, right, and then one day it went negative $30,000, that's probably what's going to happen here. Basically, all of Vicky and I's money, or whatever money you want to call it. It's not like our life savings, so we're going to be fine. We're going to still be able to pay our bills and eat food and do all that kind of stuff. It'll be fine. But all of our save money, that's all going to be gone. So we're going to be dealing with that for a while if that's the case. That's the update that I can give you right now. So that's the update and we shall move on with the topics of today's show. I want to introduce to you our lovely co-host who comes on from time to time. Not my wife. To those of you weird, freakish, weirdo trolls that just can't even figure out like how to troll properly on my YouTube channel.
Does that still happen?
Yeah,
Like,
they're
still?
trolling. They're trolling hard.
Oh,
As a matter
okay.
of fact, one of the good friends of the channel, which I think we're gonna get into that in just a second. Hold on. Pump the brakes. We got to do the promo on Alyssa Bentley. Alyssa Bentley is my friend. She's a friend of the channel. We're a fish fam friend. I don't even know what the fish fam thing is supposed to be. She's a fish fam friend. Fish fam friend. That's lots of F's. F's in chat, baby. F's in chat. We got to put some F's in chat. Oh my God, I'm putting an F in chat because fish fam friends. That is her YouTube channel right now in the chat right there. You can look up her YouTube channel where she does some kind of she's sort of new to the YouTube game. So she does some going around her fish room, talking about stuff that's going on. We're working on her skill set. We're going to improve her skill set over time. But don't ask for that to happen tomorrow. But if you like those kind of free-form fish room videos and stuff like that, that's what she's got right now. And definitely worth a look. And we shall bring her in because she's one of those experts in I don't know if I give you an expert badge or whatever, but you have a level of expertise at, fish breeding and taking care of fish and doing all that kind of stuff. You have some knowledge, I guess would be the way to put it.
Yeah,
Expert
I'd say
knowledge, expert knowledge, open-mindedness.
Perpetually learning.
Perpetually learning. God. Nice. We like that. That's a good way to put it. So Alyssa comes down, and we do the live stream, and we have kind of loosey-goosey topics, right? And we have
If it ain't Lucy, it's at least Goosey.
if it ain't Lucy, we gonna goosey. So we generally talk about what's going on, people posting up in the chat, letting us know what's going on, asking questions, having things you want to hear about, that kind of stuff. That's sort of how this show goes. If you happen to be new, now you've been introduced. Yes, properly introduced. There we go. So the troll topic. Before I brought you in, you had brought up the trolls. Are there still trolls? One of our good friends of the channel here, you guys know, is Corey from Aquarium Co-op. Posted a pretty, maybe not necessarily air quote lengthy video, probably a 15-minute video, something like that, of going over some changes that he's making and stuff like that. And a lot of it has to do with just the general negativity that you run into on a regular basis, thusly being on the internet.
Yeah.
And just how easy it is to be engrossed in the 2%, the 2% of like outrageously wild, kind of crazy, loud, obnoxious people.
Yeah.
And then the 98% that are like, hey man, awesome, I dig it. They just disappear off into the ether. You know what I mean? It's like you just completely even forget that somebody said good job and gave you a pat on the back. It's like that. That seems baseline.
The human condition is that we're going to focus on the negative because those are the things that need to be addressed in some way.
Right. And I think
evolutionarily,
it's that evolution of the 50,000 years that human beings have survived on this planet in societal form, that if somebody was extraordinarily negative towards you, the chances of you dying were extraordinarily high.
Yep.
Like, you have to, I remember somebody recently was getting pretty upset with me because I was talking with them about how a majority of the human population has been oppressed.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much the entirety of the humans existing, And they were going like, oh, what are we going to have, like, some kind of talk about racism or this or that or the other thing? And I go like, no. Women. like what, I was like, no. This isn't a race thing. This is women have been being like subservient for thousands and thousands of years, and forcibly so, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm sure that I'm 100% sure that there are some people that out there that want to be subservient. I imagine there has to be some people that are that way.
Usually it's with consent, though.
That's what I mean. Well, I'm just saying that, like, I'm sure there are some people out there that are like, hey, that's how I like to be. That's my thing, right? And you're like, okay, that's fine. But, like, I don't know that there's one half of the world that just signed up for it. Like, oh, okay, by
Right.
just being born, right?
Right.
And so that was one of those things. It was just like, some of these things need to change or whatever. I don't even know how I got on this topic. How did we get here?
You were talking about trolls calling me your wife, and then
right,
you
right.
started talking about Corey's 15-minute stream from the
That's right.
weekend.
And I was saying that, like, over, the even the last 10,000 years, if half of the population was getting extraordinarily negative attention, the chances of them not being murdered or whatever was pretty high, right? The chances of them being murdered was very high. There was a
Yeah.
point where they thought that women were witches and then just burned them,
Yeah.
right? Like, and they were just like, well, back to work, guys. That happened, like,
It's such a. This is a very complicated and in-depth topic that we could totally go into. I did take classes on this,
right.
way like 20 years ago or something. So I'm sure my information is out of date. But it would be a really long topic to go into.
Yes, I mean, it's a very long
'Cause there's-
topic, but I was
yeah.
just saying, like, on the topic of trolls, like, you are definitely going to be giving the lion's share of your attention to people that are trolling super hard, because your natural reaction, like, as a human, is just to go like, wait, what's that? Is this danger?
Right.
Am I encountering danger right now?
Is that a tiger in the bush?
Yeah. Is it a tiger? Is it an angry man with a sword? You're like, right.
Right.
And so it's just like that natural reaction of, like, the evolution of humans is just to go like, oh my God, someone's being super negative. I have to pay attention to this. And that's kind of been my interpretation of, like, why it's so easy to get focused on, like, this negativity that's coming at you is because of the evolutionary trait that we all kind of carry around of
Right.
going like, oh crap, like, wait, what? Like, oh, whoop, am I okay? I'm good. We're safe. All right. Well, wait, are we sure? Like, and I think it's just a big part of the world. Joel, sometimes you can be snarky, but I love you for it. Yeah, I mean, that I'm a snarky dude. I have a dry sense of humor. I'm very sarcastic all the time. And I think a lot of people maybe do or don't have, like, a misinterpretation of who I am often.
I could see that.
Like, I think it's really easy for people to be like, uh-oh, like, this guy, what? So it's kind of weird. It's very weird. It's
Yeah.
a weird vibe. Beta Splenda says, no, it's a sheep behind a keyboard. Yeah.
But is it one of those, like, black-faced sheep that are really cute and fluffy? Because
I ran into a sheep the other day that was being very aggressive. I say the other day, I mean, like, a month and a half ago.
Oh.
That was being very aggressive. And you realize, like, oh, that's, like, probably 250 pounds worth of angry sheep.
Yeah, they're big, and they can be aggressive.
Like, you can wrestle them to the ground, and you can get them down, and you could tie them up. But if you're not ready to do that, like, if you weren't, like, starting out your day, like, I'm going to go wrestle some sheep,
Right.
you could definitely have a screwed up afternoon. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
I do spend some time watching sheep shearing videos. I don't know why. I just do. It's interesting. And yeah, you got to be able to just kind of have all that kind of confidence that you know what you're doing.
You gotta be.
You know
gotta
how
be
sheep
primed.
react.
You gotta be primed. You gotta have some rope.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta have some rope.
I-
You'll be ready to go.
Yeah. Did Corvus Moon Knight yet?
I haven't watched Moon Knight yet, so I will get to it though. I think. Moon Knight is a new expansion series on the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it's on Disney Plus. It's a limited series. And so far I've not been super impressed on how well that they're sort of the look, the vibe, the selling me on it. So it's just I've almost clicked on it. I've almost started watching it. To be honest with you, the last 3 nights in a row, I watched 1 hour installments of Blade Runner 2049. So I watched like 1 hour, and then I went to bed, and then I watched 1 hour. You know, it took me 3 nights to watch. It's a long movie. And then it took me 3 hours to watch it, which actually I would say is probably the best way I've ever watched that movie. Because it is sort of 3 stories in one movie. And it's like 3 hours long. And I think if you stop it, not exactly at 60 minutes, or whatever, but like I think if you stop the movie at certain parts and then come back to it the next day, it's like watching episode 2 where things totally change. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie, but there's some mind-bending aspects to it ish, with questions that are like never really answered.
Is that the one with the heck is his name?
It's Blade Runner 2049. It's the follow-up to Blade Runner.
Right. I can never. The guy who I first know him as young Hercules, and then he turned into this recent sex symbol, and for a while he was all "Hey girl," in all the memes.
Ryan Gosling.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Hey girl. I like Ryan Gosling can't eat his cereal ones.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Prepare yourself for an onslaught of strong memes.
Sweet.
We do have a super chat today from Will M that we have to address here.
Nice.
Smacking down some support for the ill beats in the intro.
Yeah.
$20 super chat. That's strong. That's a strong
sweet.
super chat. Thank you very much, my friend. DK Law says, is it a Washington thing to end a sentence with right? Like people from Beantown say ka instead of ka? I don't know. I don't know.
I know I didn't start saying that until after I moved here and had lived here for a while.
Oh, yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily... I thought it was just like a 2010s holdover.
Very well could be.
Yeah.
Oh, I zoomed you in. I was going to zoom you out. There we go. I had you on a tight shot there.
You're just going to do it right here?
Yeah. Just right in on your eyeball. Like,
yes.
Oh, this is a weird show. Oh, bizarre. Yeah, so I do have to admit I'm a little bit fixated right now on that this loan situation and the fact that we're gonna lose out on more money than I've ever been an owner of in my entire life.
Do you ever think, what if you went down to the Walgreens right now and just got yourself went to like the blood pressure test to see how much your blood pressure is skyrocketed just today?
What's that?
You ever think about going to the Walgreens right now just to go and see how much your blood pressure is skyrocketed just today? From the stress?
So I've been through a lot of stressful times in my life, and I've got my blood pressure and my heart rate tested like a lot. Mm-hmm. And it's never been high. Like it's almost always like where it's supposed to be at, even though I like chew lots of nicotine gum and drink copious amounts of coffee and stuff like that. It's always just been, they're like, whatever it is, like, what is it, 65 over 80 or whatever the hell the number is or whatever?
120 over 80 maybe?
Or what is it, 60? I don't know. I guess I would have to go look it up. But I think it's like, what the hell is this? Oh, okay. It's like 65. What is it like?
The low number is usually like 65 is average.
Yeah, It's a
And then
65.
120, 125 is usually the average for the top number.
Right. I don't know. It's normally like 65 over 100 or something like that. I don't know. There's been so many times that I've been at the doctor's office and get my blood checked, and they just go like, yeah, that's like exact. Yeah, less than 120.
Oh, geez, DK Law's got a blood pressure 149 over 110. They putting you on meds for that?
Yeah, mine's normally 65 over. It's like 65 over maybe 100 or something like that. They're always like, yep, perfect, no problem. Never been a concern. So, I mean, I would assume if I went down there and checked it, it would probably be the same. But who the hell knows? I mean, I'm just so used to being under stress. I think that's what it is. I think I'm just like always stressed out. I think I'm like the Hulk, but with stress.
If
Like,
you're
the
not
Hulk's
stressed
always
out, do
angry.
you just pass out and go to sleep?
You know, the Hulk's like, the trick is I'm always angry. You know, and to me, I'm like, the trick is I'm always stressed out. It just seems like normal now.
That's crazy.
I don't know. Maybe.
That's crazy.
Beta Splenda says, hey, Corvus, why did the real fish talk finish? Let me, I've always tried to like quantify this, in some kind of like really quick statement so that it would be easily digestible. And I think I kind of have a summary for you. Corey, Jimmy, and I did the real fish talk because we had an expectation of some kind of success, and our success was based off of, is this going to grow, right? And I believe, I can't remember if we did 100 episodes or 50 episodes. I know that we did at least one a week. It might, or maybe two a week or something like that.
I think it ran for 2 years, and you probably did.
Was it 2 years?
I think so.
I think maybe we did it for 2 years, and it was like 100 episodes or something like that. There was some round number that we did.
It was Tuesdays and Thursdays for a while, I think.
That we came to a conclusion on how many we were going to do, and then we looked at how well it was performing. And the reality was we were expelling time, energy, labor dollars, because Jimmy was getting paid by the business, right? By Corey's business, not me, but
right.
But Jimmy was getting paid, so we were expending time, energy, labor dollars, and time out of our regular work time days, right? Because it's not like we were doing it on the weekend or like some kind of Friday night goof, you know? And so when we did the analysis of like how well is this performing, we were not seeing any kind of growth of going like, well, I guess if we keep it up, it'll eventually sustain itself. And I know for most people, and even from my own standpoint, even from my own viewpoint of like watching creators, watching or listening to radio shows or listening to podcasts or listening to whatever, taking in whatever content I take in, it's like, it's no skin off my ass that I'm listening to it, right? It's like, entertain me. Tell me about your college professor's thesis statement on some author. Great. It just, I'm not put out by it at all. And so it's really easy for me to have the exact same perspective that everybody else does, that they go, well, why don't you just keep doing it? Or why don't you just do it more often? What's the deal here? And the thing is, I have a job and I have bills just like everybody else. I have to work in order to pay those bills, right? If there was a world where I didn't have to pay bills, I would do shows every day, because I'd be like, who cares? If I'm making any money, I don't have any bills. Whatever. I would just make stuff all the time. The reality is like having to balance the amount of time you have in the day to stuff that pays your bills, to also having free time to be able to have some enjoyment. Most of my free time now is taken up by my daughter. I have a young daughter who's 3.5 years old. If I have free time, I'm spending it with her. I'm spending it with probably Vicky, of course. I'm always spending time with Vicky.
Who's not me, by the way.
Who's not you. Your name's right here. Your name's
I know.
right down at the bottom.
I know, but you know.
I'm spending time with Vicky, or I'm spending time with close family or close friends or something like that. Then I have the amount of time that I can work during the week that just is sort of like exists within the amount of hours that are in the week. Like you could listen to Gary Vaynerchuk if you want and assume that you can work 100 hours a day while he screams and yells and makes up stories about stuff, but it's not real. Like there's just only a limited amount of time that you can actively produce and be a productive person, right? And when you take all that stuff into account, a big portion of like 2 days out of the week were being taken up by something that wasn't growing. It wasn't becoming more effective, like monetarily or self-sustaining. Like we were basically spending money and productivity and stuff to like do that project. And at some point you have to make a critical analysis and go like, well, we have to employ stop loss measures, right? You guys are familiar with what a stop loss is, right? And just go, okay, that was it. We got to move on and we got to do something else. You just got to shift, because it's like we can't just continue to spend and expel money and stuff on a project that's not doing anything.
Right.
You know, it would be like going to a job and you don't get paid, but it's taking up time out of your day.
Yep.
Right.
It's only so much volunteering you can do.
Yeah.
You still got to be able to eat food.
And the like, and I understand like the assumption from most of the people out in the internet, people that are just watching on the internet are going like, we'll just pay for it, you know? And it's like, well, we just can't. Like, it just, it just does. It's just not there. So what do you want us to do? Like, we'll just keep doing it. Like, well, we can't afford to keep doing it. Okay, we'll just keep doing it then. Like, well, we can't. It's not working. It's not functioning as something that's taking up time out of our week. So,
right.
Yeah, it's just what it boiled down to. But one of the reasons I want to move up north is so that Corey and I could work on stuff like that if we wanted to do it. Because right now, it takes 2 hours to drive to Corey's house and back. Is another 2 hours.
Yep.
So that's 4 hours, which means there's still only 20 hours left in the day, right? Let's assume that you take a shower and blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff, and you start the day amount of time starts to shrink big time. But the reality is like, if we moved up north and Corey and I wanted to do something on Friday night or something, right? It'd be like, oh, could put Olivia to bed, leave at like 8 p.m., go do something for an hour and a half, drive back. Oh, it's 11:30, go to bed, get up for the next day or whatever, right? So that's just one of the many reasons, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But that's just like, that's the thing. But it's also the same thing with this show, is that like eventually if my channel is not financially viable to take up time out of my week, like at some point in time, I don't know when that is, maybe 10 years from now, I don't know, but it might come to a point where it's just like, oh, I just can't do that anymore, you know? And my hat's off to everyone that has had like wild success on YouTube, like hats off, or Facebook videos or TikTok or Snapchat or whatever. I don't know. Like, the sky's the limit on the platforms. But my hat's off to people that have had that success, but we weren't seeing like sustainable, and that might happen here too. It's just like, how long can we keep doing it if it's not doing the thing?
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
But for now, here we are.
Like, understandably, you're Justin's housewife now, so you could pencil in a couple hours a week.
Yeah.
But if it suddenly became the thing where it was like, well, I can't even take care of my house anymore, right? You'd be like, we can't broadcast 30 hours a day. It's impossible. I need to. My man's needs housewife stuff. I don't even know really these days what housewife stuff is. I was gonna start naming some things, but I don't even know what they are. What are they?
Dishes.
Dishes.
Laundry.
You gotta do the dishes. Laundry.
We don't have a dishwasher, so I this is the dishwasher right here.
So the Nano Aquarium guy says, sorry, is it 2 hours away because traffic, or is it really just far? Yes, both.
Yeah, both. It is pretty far.
It's really far. So to drive, I was doing my taxes this year, and I had to do all my mileage because one of my vehicles is for business and one of them isn't. So I have to like take the not business miles, blah blah blah, this and that. But like, to drive from my house to Corey's house is 168 miles round trip.
Yep.
Yeah. And my truck, God bless my truck's heart. Right? Like, God bless my truck. Jesus, take the wheel. Gets about 20 miles to the gallon. So,
yeah.
8 gallons of gas. There goes bye-bye.
It's a little bit.
Which is $40.
It's a little bit more than half of what my car gets. per
You mean
gallon.
it's less than half?
Yours. My car gets
A little bit more than half. Okay.
Yeah, my
So you
car
get
gets
like
36.
36, 40 if you're only freeway.
Mm-hmm. If I'm only freeway. If I'm stuck in bumper to bumper, chrome to chrome traffic, then yeah, it drops down to like 30.
I gotta tell you guys, I want a hybrid so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone used to make fun of Sean and I when we would drive around in his Prius. Everyone would make fun of us. Everyone. Us included. That's why I'm saying everyone. Even Sean and I. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, does that thing come with a diaphragm? You know. You know, because it's funny. Or the one where is it? Dirty Mike and the Boys. You ever seen that?
Mm-mm.
There's a cop movie where all of the Prius jokes, the best Prius jokes, are in. It has Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell, and they play. Marky Mark plays an aggressive cop, and Will Ferrell plays the dumb cop.
Okay.
Right, and I swear to God, you got to watch that movie. It is the funniest movie you never expected to really be that funny. You'd be like, Mark Wahlberg's not that. There's a part in that movie where they expose the fact that Marky Wahlberg, whatever his name is,
Mark Wahlberg,
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, he says, you find out about his character ironically learned how to dance ballet really well just to make fun of other kids in the neighborhood.
All right.
Like, there's a part in the movie where they expose when he was a kid, he took 6 years of ballet or something like that to ironically make fun of the other. Or he ironically took ballet to make fun of the other kids in the neighborhood because he uses ballet as a burn on some guy late in the movie.
Oh, okay.
As an adult.
Okay.
And they're like, what? You know, it's so, yeah. And it's like, everybody's quoting it now. Like, Gator don't play no shit. Like, Will Ferrell's character, like, accidentally became a pimp in college. It's the funniest movie you've ever seen. But that's where it's like, does that thing come with a dental dam? Like, because they drive a Prius around in that movie, and people are constantly making fun of them. But, yeah, we drove around that Prius forever because... My God, man, we get like 68 miles to the gallon or something like that. Like, we never had to put gas in this damn thing. We'd drive from Seattle to Bellingham and back and be like, yeah, we don't even have to buy gas. Who cares?
Yeah,
which
is cool.
Like, you'd forget to put gas in that car because you so infrequently put gas in there. And when you did, it was like, 6 gallons. It's full, you know?
Yeah.
You know?
Right. No, I get it. And
But there's a new hybrid pickup truck that doesn't. It can't tow anything, but Ford has a new one, and I just want it just to have gas mileage. I don't even want a new truck. I like my truck, but I'm just like, oh, hybrid gas mileage. Oh my God, I'm dadding out over here. I'm dad bodding all over the place with gas mileage.
You could get like a hybrid sedan.
No,
Okay.
I can't. Well, what am I gonna do with a hybrid sedan?
Drive it around with the family?
Oh, my
In it?
tools and everything in it.
Well, you said the truck can't haul anything.
The new hybrid truck doesn't have the hauling capacity to like tow a big trailer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
So it can't haul anything. It can haul like a small trailer, like a utility trailer or something like that, but it doesn't have like. So my towing truck, my truck that tows the trailer. It's the big white one out front.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's my work truck. But I normally drive the Explorer because it gets better gas mileage, and I can just throw all my tools in there, and
It's got that cover on it.
it's like a tool caddy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of tools.
and it gets a lot of miles put on it that I don't want to put on my nice truck.
I noticed that there's a lot of tools because every time you come over to do work in my basement, it takes up the entirety of my garage to put all the tools in.
Well, I just don't leave them in the truck
Right.
out on the street.
Right, of course not.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's how you know there's a lot of tools because it's like all the remaining floor space of my basement that's not taken up by the gym. And it's funny because Justin was like, I didn't get to work out this weekend. I was like, why not? He's like, because, and I'm like, oh, because they were, all right, because you don't want to work out in front of people who are doing work in the
It's a
basement.
little weird.
Yeah, it would be a little weird.
Hey, some people could pull it off. I think it would be awkward for me. Like,
He would
hey,
be,
guys.
it would not be good for him. He would
guys
not be able to do it.
You guys like lifting weights, boy.
He's sitting there doing his squats and whatnot. No,
Yeah.
I don't think he would be able to. I think he would be extremely uncomfortable and not be.
I would be uncomfortable for me too. Like this is just weird. I'll wait until tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah. What's that? No, I think you can tow with it. Nothing crazy, but it can tow. Yeah, I mean, I think it can tow like. I forget when I looked at it. I think it had like a 4,500 pound towing capacity or something like that. So you could tow a utility trailer. There's like
could tow
a
my
boat.
car.
You could tow a small boat. You probably couldn't tow your car because you'd have to put it on a trailer. And then the trailer. So normally a car trailer is like 2 tons.
Oh.
Because it's dual axle. You could drive the car up on it. You might be able to use one of those dollies, where you like
We're
dolly
just like
a car.
the front
Yeah.
wheels and then.
I don't like the dolly tow cars.
Yeah.
I've been through some extraordinarily dangerous highway interactions with cars on dollies behind being towed on stuff. So I'm just not a huge fan.
That's okay.
Not a huge fan.
I am.
We put a pickup truck on a dolly one time, and somebody left the emergency brake engaged, and we had a big long truck, and so driving along, and then you look back, and you go like, "There's a shower of sparks happening."
Yeah.
Back there. What is happening? So we had dragged the back tires of the pickup truck so long that they exploded. And then we were resting on the rims, and the rims were shooting sparks out onto the freeway. That's just one of them. Some other ones were more dangerous than that. But boy, howdy, that truck was on fire. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that was fun to fix. I'll tell you that much.
Is there an orange camera over my left shoulder?
Right up there.
Yeah.
It's pink.
Oh, it is pink. It's a Canon though.
It's a pink camera.
It's a Canon camera.
It's a little tiny Canon.
Mm-hmm.
I think, what can I see in the background behind you? A couple lenses, a camera. Yeah, some stuff. There's jargon. It's like camera stuff on some wood shelves that I made with like black iron pipe and stuff like that.
Yep.
I was using it as a black backdrop for some videos at one point. Was the whole reason for it, so I could have like 2 different perspectives. And then I just realized like a blacked out background is almost even better than anything going on in the background. So, yeah.
That makes sense. Makes sense to me.
It's just like, it's less busy and confusing, you know. Yeah. So, last I heard, you can get a VFR license for $5,000. What is that?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Does it mean very freaking... No, that doesn't make sense. I don't know.
In SoCal, we measure in distance and time, not miles. That is very true.
We do that in Minnesota as well. I mean...
Well, Southern California it's exclusively hours.
Yeah.
Because it's like you got to navigate the 405 or the I-5 or any of that kind of stuff. And it's like, well, how long does it take to get there? It's like, or how far is it? It's like 4 hours. Oh, okay, we're not going.
Yeah.
You know? It's like,
yeah.
You could walk there probably faster.
Yeah.
Realistically.
It's like I used to work.
Although you might get mugged.
If you walk, yeah. Little extra safety being within the vehicle. Yeah.
The anonymity of being in the freeway with all the other cars. It's like, it's the herd mentality, right? Like all the zebras are running around and the lions can't jump out and eat them.
Right.
Right.
No, like when I used to live in Minnesota and I worked in St. Paul, but I lived in Minneapolis. Now that's two cities. They're the twin cities for a reason. There's like a river running through it, and that's it. And the main road across is 94. And so you get on I-94 and you come home, and sometimes it's 3 hours. And sometimes it's 30 minutes.
Oh, it's the Visual Flight Rules pilot's license. Boy, I tell you guys, Vicky wants to get her pilot's license. She still does. Ever since we took that small flight and she got to fly the plane around.
Nice.
Got those. We donated money to animal charity, and we won. Like I don't know what you call it, like an individual lesson or something like that, and a flight. I don't know what the name of it was. There was a name for it. We got to fly around for like 3 hours, and Vicky got to fly, and I just took pictures out the window because I was like, "Oh, cool! Look at that! Oh, look at that! I'm in an airplane with a little window, and I got a camera. I'm gonna take pictures." So I took a bunch of pictures.
Nice.
It was a little like 4-seater, but it was like kind of like a nicer Cessna. I don't even know what the plane was, but it was like the little. Was it 4 seats or 6 seats? I think it was 6 seats, because it was like a little beefier than a tiny Cessna, but it was cool. We had a lot of fun.
I mean, if she gets her pilot license, then she could fly puddle jumpers around in Alaska if she wants to.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a thing. We could become pilots or something.
Apparently, a lot of places in Alaska, that's how you get around. I don't know for sure. I've never been, but that's what I've heard.
Can you believe it? There's an airline in Alaska that we take when we have to go fly around up there.
Is it called Alaska Airlines?
It's called Corvus Airlines.
That's crazy.
Which I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? And
it gets you there
didn't know
as the crow flies.
They didn't know it was me. But they get you there as the crow flies. Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I was like, oh, snap. I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Cool. And I was like, you guys are way more established than I am. I don't even own a plane, let alone many of them. Sorry for going off topic. If building a cement stand for a 6-foot, 125-gallon, does it need support in the middle? I think Corey said every 4 feet he did this.
The
you mean
concrete blocks?
Like concrete blocks? Absolutely, yes. Yeah, you need some kind of... You need anything... let's see, what's the widest tank? Yeah, there isn't a single tank that I can think of that doesn't require some kind of lateral support other than like a 29, I think is the biggest.
You can easily do a 40 and just support it on the corners.
You can, but I've seen the 40s because there's enough weight to them that they'll twist a little bit. And if it's glass and you have it twisted a little bit, the silicone doesn't make it.
True.
I was trying to think, like, I've done and I've seen 40s, But I wouldn't recommend it to anybody because of that reason, where it's like, I mean, it's really easy to get a little bit of a.
I always put the boards on top of the blocks to make like a shelf situation.
Yeah.
For the 40s. But
that's
with a 125 gallon though.
But that's giving you that lateral support. That's giving you the whole across. I'm saying that like with nothing.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, the really popular metal stand that they sell at Petco or whatever, really the center part is about, I don't know, a millimeter or two below the stand, below the tank itself. You can slip paper in there if you want, just fine. It doesn't touch the tank. It's just being held up by the corners, and that's it on the 40 gallons. And I don't know, I've used mine for years. At one point, I got rid of it just because I was going to go to racks.
Right, but that metal frame goes around the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah. So like it's supporting more than just the edge. Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Brandon
if you
wants
have a 6 foot 125, like you're gonna have to put a center in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Brandon wants to know if the skinny one would be good or if he should use the full block. For a 125 gallon, I would use a regular size block, the 6-inch wide ones, and make sure to stack them so that the hole goes straight down, because that's the strongest point of those things, not sideways or nothing.
I've never thought that somebody would stack them sideways, but that is a really good point.
All the time.
Oh, I know. To me, I'm like, that's not how you put cinder blocks together, so it would never occur to me necessarily to like give that recommendation. But yes, that is a good point. like yes, they have to go vertical, but I wouldn't do anything with the small blocks regardless, just because it's really easy to lose your perception of exactly how much weight a tank is. So a 40-gallon tank is, what's 40 times 8?
360.
You think so?
Well, yes.
Okay. Which is, and then add substrate and the weight of the tank. You're talking about 400 pounds. So what I'd want you guys to do to illustrate this is just take something that's like 40 pounds and set it up on a 2x4, right? It will sit on there, but as soon as this happens, what occurs? This weight comes down and the thing goes flying.
Right.
So, it's one of those things that like you could technically, I've seen people build like hanging stands. And as a matter of fact, I'm building some at the co-op right now that are mostly vertical with just bracing, and then the tanks actually bridge the gap, right? But I have lateral coming from the wall is what's holding everything from going this way, or forward or back. Whereas most people at home aren't going to attach at the top to the wall and anchor everything in, and you're probably not going to attach at the other wall and anchor everything in, right? So that's why I kind of like try to tell people like think as an engineer and go, you wouldn't want just the spindles because could fall over. And the reason I bring that up is that it's not just the variability of the stand. It's temperature in the room, humidity in the room. What kind of floor is it sitting on? Is everything going to change throughout the year as it gets hot and cold and humid and dry and this and that and the other thing? And you can really get a little bit of movement that ends up going flying.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. It doesn't happen that often. And to tell you something else that doesn't happen very often, I don't get hit by other people driving my car around. It doesn't happen very often. But
True.
I'll tell you this much. I wear my seatbelt every time because I have been crashed into by other people that just were not paying attention.
Almost happened to me today.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, you want to take and apply your preventative measures as much as you can to be prepared and build it the best you possibly can. I don't build things out of cement blocks, especially fish tank stands, because of a multitude of reasons. But one of the main ones is just it's not a permanent fixture.
Mm-hmm.
You have something that could easily interact in a really negative way that could really make a big change in the rest of your life, which I do everything I can to avoid that, and just follow the best building practices that I can. So the difference between a skinny cinder block and a big cinder block, I'm like, is a no-brainer to just go, certainly not the skinny one, because we know it has much less surface area to make a purchase to the ground. And so I'm just like, would be, nah. But hopefully I explained it in a way that
makes sense.
It doesn't sound like I'm just being like, no. Damn it. Don't. You know. Uh-oh, Carson said something, and then he left. What's up, Carson? How you doing? How you doing, my friend?
He just mathed wrong.
Oh, he did some math wrong?
Yeah.
That's all right.
It's okay.
Hanging stands are really cool to see. I agree, buddy. If you guys don't know, Carson's long-time supporter of the channel. Awesome dude. I love hanging out with him and his wife and his kids. And I
Nice.
hope to do that again sometime soon.
Yes.
So shout out. Shout out.
That would be
Imagine you too could be somebody that's going to be around here for the next 10 years. And 10 years from now, I could be like, shout out, fellow chatsters. But
10 years from now.
hopefully we can get together soon. I was hopefully going to be living up right near them
We'll
with the
see.
move. But today has just been, we shall see.
Yeah.
We shall see. We get the vein going for low appraisal. Rage. Uh-oh, Dave's got to go.
Catch you later.
Work meeting? What do you... It's work.
What's that? On a Monday? That's the worst time to go to work. Yeah. I gotta say, though, so y'all replaced my basement door
Mm-hmm.
after much fighting with it, the whole situation.
There's a lot of fighting with that door hole.
Yeah. But I gotta say, the best part about that is, so previously, my 100-year-old rotten back door to my basement, in order to get in, you'd have to turn the handle and then, like, bash into it, and it would be like, bam, and bang open. And then in order to get it closed, because it wouldn't just close, you'd have to, like, put it all the way closed and then bam, and then shut it. And I would end up doing that, like, probably 30 times a day. Just bam, 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 bam. I'm sure my neighbors just loved it. Mm-hmm. And now, after a whole, like, day of hearing you and Thomas cussing at each other in the backyard and cussing at the door hole and whatever.
I was swearing at the door hole. I wasn't swearing at Thomas.
Right.
Okay. I was doing that too.
Well,
Yeah.
now all I have to do is I go down there and I just go, and it shuts. And it opens. I have to go get a door handle. I'm going to do that after the show.
Got to get a door handle.
Because there's a Home Depot, like, real close by. So I'm just going to go in there, get a door handle. I'm pretty sure it's relatively not hard to put that on. So I'm going to just do that.
And a deadbolt.
It's the deadbolt that I have, not good.
It's a really old one. So, I mean, I put it together.
Yeah.
You heard a lot of the swearing with Thomas in the tiny parts, which is, by the way, I swear to God, it's a new part of my comedy act. Oh my God. It was like, it's going in my stand-up, dude. It's going in my stand-up. Oh my God. The old man just going crazy about tiny screws and stuff. And he left a part attached to the door.
Oh,
And
okay.
he didn't realize it because it was dark in there. He didn't have the light on, and he like took the deadbolt out and then set all the parts over there. And then he was trying to tell me, like, he was like, "Hey man, I got to make sure you know like which parts are here, so when you go to put the deadbolt in, like, you know what's going on." And I'm like, I don't care. No, leave me alone. I'm busy. I got to get this door hole ready, you know. And it was just so funny. It was just so funny, like how he was going about it. Like, I don't know, these guys built this thing, and look at all these tiny parts. And I'm like, it's a door lock. What do you think it's gonna be? Like some big giant, like Lego pieces, with like
You
those
gotta
giant
have
Lego
the
blocks. Like, here we go. We'll put that and that, and then we'll lock the door with it. You know, I'm like, what's your expectation here, dude? Of course, there's little pieces that go together. It's a lock. Like, we're fucking.
Yeah.
So funny. I don't know. It was just cracking me up.
It's a fun time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm just really enjoying the fact, and I've trimmed the excess insulation spillage on the inside, but I haven't done it on the outside yet because it's chilly.
Not a big deal. You just leave it there until I come do the door casing.
Yeah.
I'll
But
trim
on
it
the
down.
inside, it was starting to like make gross squeaky noise with the door because it was like right
Oh.
in the thing, and I was like, ew.
A lot of times you can just push it and like snap and just snaps
Yeah,
off,
it
so.
wasn't snapping though. It was just making that styrofoam noise, and I was like, no, that's
You
not
don't like that weird.
that squeaky styrofoam noise.
You don't like that noise?
No, because it sounds like animals dying, and I'm
It's
like,
your new favorite noise. Come on, man, chill.
No.
Chill, bro. Ah.
no.
Chill,
So
bro.
I tried to do it with a box cutter, but the box cutter wasn't long enough, so I just got out my knife and did it that way. So worked.
Makes sense.
Worked
too much.
well.
Making too much sense, bro.
Yeah.
So far, we fixed the beam in your basement. We got a bunch of stuff cleared out. We fixed some of the electrical issues that they got going on. Oh yeah, we do need to call out a plumber at some point and maybe get a bid on changing out some of those old galvanized pipes.
Yeah.
It's definitely a doable. It's definitely a thing like I can do. I'm able to do. I just don't know if we can dedicate the time
Right.
in comparison to how fast those guys can do it. Because it's like
Yeah. If
the
we could
last
just,
time I had a repipe, they showed up with 7 guys, and they were done in like 3 hours or something. Something
that's
crazy
rad.
like that. Where you're just like, how? They're like, we gotta go to our next job. I'm like, they're gone. They're gone now. I don't know. I think they were here. Where did they go?
That's awesome.
And it's sort of one of those things where like, Vicky was asking me to redo the gutters here, and then I was like, let's just call a couple gutter companies, and like the first gutter company, because we got four bids, which I always recommend people to always get multiple bids.
Mm-hmm.
The first company wanted $4,800. What? Second company wanted $2,200. Third company wanted $1,500, and the fourth company, I don't know. They were in like the 3,500 range or whatever. We ended up going with the lowest bidder because he was just like a local guy who was like, yeah, it's just me and 2 guys in our truck, and I just fabricate out of the truck, and we make the gutter. He's like, it's just gutters. We just make new ones, and we put them up there, and then yeah. Mm-hmm. So and he was like, we got an appointment time on Friday if you want, and it was like, yes, come Friday, do that, and then showed up, put up the new gutters, and done. And it's like
Nice.
before even lunchtime. It's like, oh, you guys are done. That was easy. No big deal,
Yeah.
right?
You didn't even have to fall off a ladder.
Yeah. And that's kind of one of those things with like a company like that where it's just like, where'd you get all these guys? And the guys out there like making a new gutter to just like put it on the building, and you're like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, they do the gutters. That's it. That's all they do. So
Yep.
sometimes it's better to get a company to do something because of that timeline, especially with like, because your husband or spouse or whatever you want to call him, he works from home, and so it's like, we're gonna just be gone for 3 days or something,
Right.
Well, there's no water in the house or whatever, so it's
Right.
kinda
Yeah,
goofy.
because we're home all the time. So.
Yeah, always home, so it's like you just want to get it done.
Mhm.
Which ultimately it's a cost time differential. So yeah.
Right.
Well,
It's-
and it's like with insulation, I always try to tell people, I'm like, don't do insulation yourself.
Right.
Because you're paying. Like, there's a lot of stuff that people can do to save money on their own projects. Insulation is not one of them. Because even I can't save money on insulation. Like, I don't have money, or I don't have the ability to save money doing insulation. There's a contractor I know, a general contractor buddy of mine, that got just recently got approved for buying insulation at insulation cost prices, like the companies that do it. And he goes, I'm not going to tell you guys any of the prices because it's probably proprietary information or whatever. But he's like, I finally know how these guys do it so cheaply. Because we're looking at it and it's like, that's 10% the cost of the big box stores.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, how is anyone, what? Huh? What the hell? Like, oh my God. So that's like one of those things of reality where you come down to like, oh, you can't save money as a homeowner, like doing insulation. You just aren't. It's not going to save money at all. So there's really no point in doing it.
Mm-hmm. Plus, I mean, if you have to do abatement, like with me, with my vermiculite in my attic, probably both of my attics, we can't even get to the second one because we can't safely put a ladder up to get it because it's in the middle of that stairwell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like you'd have to put a ladder across.
Mm-hmm.
And there are boards there that I assume are there so that somebody can go up into the attic by putting a ladder across.
Mm-hmm.
But the inspector guy before we bought the house was not willing to go up there because he said that's not safe at all.
Right.
I'm gonna break my neck. And I was like,
okay,
I understand. But if there's anything living in my attic, that's where they are.
Yeah. Assuredly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for sure.
A bunch of birds up there.
Yep, probably. Birds or bats.
And so as far as your fish room goes, at least now we're getting there.
Yeah.
Which is good. That exterior door was honestly like way more work than we had anticipated. A lot of the concrete had just deteriorated to the point where it was just so rotten that we had to like chip it out. A bunch of it just fell out and was like, goodbye. I'm rocks and gravel now. Like, oh crap.
Yeah. It's like they put river rocks in it.
Well, the aggregate mix, whoever did the concrete, and you got to expect like, so Alyssa's house is like what 116
years old.
116 years ago, and nobody inspecting really all that much back then. And the concrete guys, they poured the concrete. It was in the forms. They took the forms off, and they're like, "Let's go. All right, here we go. Next step." You don't necessarily have the expectation to come back 115 years later and be like, "Oh, we're removing the door. Oh, crap." So we had to do a lot of vertical patching and a bunch of stuff like that, and get things like kind of shored up and stuff. So it took a bit longer, but luckily we got the beam fixed. We got most of the demo is done. I think
it's all trimmed now, so I'm gonna assume it looks like at this point all we need to do is build the walls.
Mm-hmm.
So
frame the walls and put up the sheetrock and all that stuff, which my expectation was to do that this last weekend, but the door was extra in the very like Taylor Swift extra kind of way.
Yeah. Oh, Nano Aquarium guy, you never wonder what may be in your unreachable attic? Yeah.
Constantly.
I constantly wonder about it.
Where'd that bat come from? That's the question.
Where did the bat come from that was in my house last fall? And like it's right over my kitchen. It's right over the main bathroom area and whatever. And sometimes I'll hear things up there that kind of sounds like birds scrabbling around, and I don't know what the heck it is. So I frequently wonder what is up in there, but I can't get up there. I need to. That's one of the things that appeals to me about getting rid of that staircase and putting in a closet instead, so that we can actually put a ladder down. And
that was the potential 5G internet guy at the new location,
oh.
Which the new location is in flux. So, what do we say when that happens?
We say,
become a YouTube member today! Yeah, become a YouTube member! Oh my God, yeah, I don't know.
And then we could talk about old house stuff.
I did the bot thing because it's 2:15. It's been an hour now, so I'm supposed to tell people about internet, whatever membership. Become a member so I can make YouTube content about fish tanks.
Yes.
And building fish rooms and stuff.
Yep.
Yep. So we can
fish
build
room
fish
that
rooms.
is taking significantly longer than we thought it would. But I kind of figured that it would because it's
your
an
fault.
old ass house.
It's your fault. You shouldn't have bought an old ass house.
I know. Thanks, Dad. I should have
wow.
bought a brand new house.
Should have bought a brand new multi-million-dollar construction house.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, that's the thing. We're all just working within our means. If we all could afford, if we all could afford to live in a brand new, custom-built home, we all probably would do
well-created
that.
house with,
Yeah,
with
like a R value rating off the charts, super efficient. Like
it's got some
solar panels,
solar already, like
oh
solar
my God,
roof
just
tiles.
Ready to go. We're collecting rainwater, we're heating the rainwater and filtering the rainwater with solar power. Yeah, would we do all that stuff if we had an unlimited budget? Hell yeah, we would. But right now we're dealing with rubbing two sticks together, trying to make fire like a couple of cavemen, like just going. I hope we don't die in the cold out here, guys. Right,
Digging holes in old freaking concrete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is it a new closet or a new murder
one
closet?
Of the,
a pantry.
So I think one of the issues with Alyssa's setup is that it is in like a concrete basement that has like concrete stairs that come down from outside, and there is like the concern of water collection down there, which we're not really sure where that exterior drain goes, if it even connects to anything or anything like that.
I have no idea.
At some point we're gonna have to sort that out, or help keep rainwater from ending up pooling up down there, which one of the methods of doing that would be to just obstruct rainwater from getting there at all.
Which would be the quick and easy way would be to put a tarp there, but that would be really unpleasant looking.
really fugly. Fugly.
Yeah, it would be fugly as heck. A shower curtain.
A sweet shower curtain?
Just like a shower curtain right across that little opening there, and then if it's sunny out, just like open it up, and then
Hey.
But because I do when it's nice out, which happens sometimes, and there's actually sun, even though it's the Pacific Northwest, that does happen. At the moment, because I've got those tanks that are right there by the door, I love opening the door and just letting the sun hit those tanks.
See, I think if that was my house, what I would do is that deck that you have, that little deck, I would elevate the deck and extend it over the top of that. And then you could close in the deck area, and then you would have like a natural rain
Roof.
barrier?
Yeah. No, I get you.
A moisture barrier.
Moist.
If there's any point in time that we could drop moist in the live stream, I think we have to do it. I think so. A new cannibal murder closet. We don't want to enhance the murder closet.
No.
The murder closet is kind of freaky.
It is a little bit on its own. It's just where the plumbing goes down and connects to the main.
I will say it's less freaky now that the space is kind of opening up.
Yeah.
It's becoming less creepy.
It was
time.
really creepy when we moved in.
Like day one. Whoa.
When I moved in, and there was just like all this like old stuff everywhere. Like realistically, long term in that basement, I want to tear all those walls and other wallboard crap out of there. Just all of it.
Yeah.
Like there's gross closet that smells bad because at one point I had a water spill and it soaked up into the wallboard, and now it just has smelled bad ever since.
Right.
And I want to tear all that off.
I do think it's a good idea to tear that closet out. It's sort of a useless, like somebody had a bunch of scrap wood and just started, I need to make a closet here. And you're like, why?
Right.
Why?
I appreciate having
Why, you
somewhere to
up?
put our camping equipment and stuff, but I feel like
Somebody said
I
earlier.
could put it on like a shelf in some plastic bins.
I gotta say, somebody said earlier in the stream that my beard is turning gray, and you're right.
Yeah.
I forget who
happens.
it was. I don't know who it was. I just was rubbing my beard and remembered that I trimmed my beard today. Yes, it's turning gray. I hope it turns super white gray And yeah, sure. Anyhow, murder
It's cool
closet,
because your
gotta
hair
go.
doesn't look gray, but your beard is.
My hair's not turning gray yet. Just in here, like.
Mm-hmm.
And this is normally shaved, so people don't really notice it.
You
think
got
my
the temple.
Yeah, the
Nice.
temples and stuff. But I think my beard started turning gray first, for sure. When somebody asked me if I was gonna dye it, I have no intention to dye my beard. Sorry, guys. I just
You could
don't.
do it temporarily and just get some mascara and just kind of, and then it would be dyed for like the day until you wash it off.
I guess
If you really wanted to, just to play around with it.
it's possible. I suppose.
Just like when you wash it off, use like an oil-based cream to get it off.
Like turpentine.
No, just like baby oil.
What?
Like baby oil. It breaks up the makeup,
I don't want to do that.
and then you can wash your beard and it's fine.
I don't want to do any of that.
Okay.
I don't like that.
I'm just saying it's a possibility that you
That
could
doesn't
do.
sound good. That sounds bad.
Okay.
I'm sad now.
Oh,
Oh.
it's weird that made you sad.
Oh, maybe so.
Now you're mad and sad.
Mad and sad.
Oh, he's sad mad. He's smad, you guys.
Smad.
Smad.
But yeah, my beard is turning gray, and that's fine.
You could dye it purple.
I'm not gonna dye my beard purple.
Yeah, you can't do that
But-
because we already got purple mark up in Cap Hill.
So those of you wondering of being like, well, I don't understand why you don't dye your hair. My hair has been every single color you can imagine. So I know that it's difficult for people's brains to comprehend. My hair has been every single color ever.
I am now imagining all the colors.
Mhm.
Have you done platinum?
Yep.
Sweet.
I've bleached my hair. I've done it gray. I've bleached my hair over a million times.
Mm-hmm.
I've done from the darkest black I could get to the blondest blonde, all the way out to gray, to green, blue, red, purple. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I did that stuff when I was a kid. It seems weird to do it now. It'd be like, like whatever, yeah. I don't know. I guess my opinion is it's fine. We
I
just
dye my
go
hair
like,
black.
It's fine.
I just like it black.
Yeah, you dyed your hair black, which is fine.
Yep.
And I'm not criticizing anybody for wanting to dye their hair. I'm just like,
My hair
I'm
has
gonna go sand some wood or something,
my hair has been red, pink, blue, purple, and different shades of purple. And that's it. And black, obviously.
And black.
Yep.
Black, 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 number one. Yeah. I met you, it was green, I think. Possibly. Who knows? My mom's husband met me, and I had long blue hair.
Nice.
I think it was longer than your hair is now.
That's not very hard. My hair is pretty short now.
Okay.
I got my hair shortened, you guys.
Did you get a haircut?
I got it, yeah.
Hey guys, this is the hair segment. Okay, this
Yeah.
is the hair segment.
Yep.
You got a haircut.
Uh-huh.
You're enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good vibes. Where'd you go?
To this place called the Main Team Salon, right down the street from my house.
The main team,
Yep.
like
MANE.
a horse mane.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it's pretty good. Talk to Ray.
that's some weird branding. All
Yeah.
right. All right.
They do well. They did a good job. It was did a cut and color style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
It felt good.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not used to going to women's salons and dealing with that pricing.
Mm-hmm.
It's intense.
It was pretty. Yeah. Justin's like, I don't know. My haircut was $11,
Right.
and I'm like, mine was $100.
I'm all like, $14. I don't know. It's getting steep out here, bros.
Yeah.
Inflation.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Uh-huh.
I guess the place where I used to get my hair cut when I was a kid, was forever the $5 haircut. That was their big sign out front, was $5 haircut. That's it. $5. It's just $5. Hey, it's just $5. We'll cut your hair. That's
$5 shorter hair.
Yep.
Good job.
$5. We shall cut your hair for you.
Yep.
And I remember there was outrage. People were outraged when they raised their prices to like $6 or something. It's just like, what kind of cheapskates living around
Now
here?
you got to bring a 5 and a 1.
Yeah. Oh, now you're telling me I got to bring more than one bill with me? Huh? Well, I'm still just going to give him a tenner, okay? I'm going to give him a 10. Then he can keep the change. He's going to keep less change, but that's not my problem. It's a tip, okay? It's a $4 tip, understand? Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the cheapskates I grew up around. They talk like that too, like idiots.
Yeah. I am used to getting a $20 haircut and tipping $20 on top.
Right.
But at some point, a $20 haircut started to make me look like I didn't know how to get a haircut.
Started to make you look like you didn't know how to get out of bed properly in the morning.
Yeah, like there was nothing I could do with it.
People just ask you, like, are you okay?
At one point, a stylist gave me bangs, but the bangs were like this short.
Oh, nice.
And it was like Dumb and Dumber bangs.
Yeah. That's strong.
And I was like, I don't even know what to do with this. Can't go back on this.
There's
and
no
I ended
going
up
back.
having to get like a hair gel and like slick it all the way over to the side and just make it look like I had it tucked under my ear.
Right.
And just get like a barrette and just like pretend that was what was going on until it grew out. And I had a phobia of hair salons for a very long time. And so then I had hair all the way down to like my backside.
Right.
And but it was all raggedy.
Right, because you were like, you got to maintain. Right?
Yeah.
That's something that I've heard stories about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good. So I don't go to cheap salons anymore. And if I can't afford a nicer salon, I just don't go. And so then my hair just grows out. And I'm like, whatever. I'll just wait. Just wait till I can.
Saving up $1 a month. Yeah.
Whatever you got to do, but I ain't going back. I'm not going back to somewhere where they're going to give me Dumb and Dumber bangs again.
Yeah,
no way.
That's crazy, bro. Like, that's so bad.
It was cruel. And at the time I was trying to find a job too. And yeah, that didn't help. Plant gurus.
Plant gurus? Yeah, well, you got to ask a question.
Yeah, what you want to do, Matt Smith?
Or, sorry, Matthew.
Well, I'm going to just shorten it all.
They might prefer to be Matthew.
They might be.
Matthew. But ask a question, we'll answer it as best we can. Or we'll just tell you.
We're just filling in the time with some chatter.
Yeah, we're just chatting, bro. We're just chatting. It's a podcast. Welcome to the podcast.
Heck yeah.
Joel doesn't need to dye the beard. He's seasoned. He's a seasoned veteran in the beards dyes. Now it's all natural, peppered style. That's right. Chris is right. Mm-hmm. Correct. I want to say thanks to Chris for supporting my project here, the YouTube channel. He's a member and a patron. Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. I really do. Zip has very fine hair. It is super straight when short, but it gets loose curls when long. A few times I've been able to grow it long. I get a lot of compliments from women. I mean, I would grow it long then. If you're just getting compliments from women, I would just grow it long.
Mm-hmm.
And some people would say you're fishing for compliments. Oh, I get it, because it's a fish YouTube channel. Yeah, fishing for compliments. Yeah.
Brought it back around. And Zip Gun lives in Florida and likes to go looking for fish in the wild.
Zip collects some cool fish from the wild. That's for sure.
Heck yeah.
We got to get him. I'm trying to get Zip to start doing like man on the street reporting, but with fish stuff. Yeah.
Man in the
and he sent
pond?
sent in a little clip video a little while ago, which was perfect for some of the future content I'm working on. Although we have to make some subtle changes to it. I hope he can reshoot it and send it in. Yeah. I have a plant that I have no idea what it is. I popped a short on my channel, but please don't leave here. I think it's hygro polysperma. Yeah, I mean it's probably hygro polysperma then. I mean that's such a common plant. It could very well be.
I mean, I've got a plant that I think might be that, and if I put it in the one tank that it's in, it sort of changes colors near the surface of the.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. So yeah,
it's definitely a weird morph plant that, growing out of water completely changes. Growing in different conditions, it totally changes. So, yeah, I mean, it very well could be. Ooh, I got a plant question. I'm leaving for 2 weeks for military stuff. Gonna karate chop some Russians in the neck or something. Any ideas on how to keep my immersed setup from drying out? I've tried saran wrap and it didn't last a week. Well, saran wrap is the number one go-to. But the easiest way it is sort of explaining that not all saran wraps are built the same. Some of them are built different. You know what I mean?
You want the heavy duty? In
my experience, you want the heavy duty, like 24-inch roll from like commercial applications for like restaurants. It's not so much that you need a big, thick, long roll. You need a wide roll. So you can do one piece. And then you need to get those giant rubber bands. I don't know what those giant rubber bands are for. But they make these super big, giant rubber bands. And put one of those around the top. Just like if you were doing that with a jar. Like, let's say you have a jar. You put the saran wrap in the rubber band. That's like the real... That's the real tricksy move right there, is doing the band, and it will generally stay. As far as like an immersed setup, like not drying out, I would just add more water in there too with a good top on it. Like, don't worry about adding some extra water in if you're going to be gone for a little while. The idea of doing an immersed setup is at some point you're going to submerge it, right? You're going to fill it up. So I would add a little bit in and just some extra water. And then with the saran wrap, it shouldn't evaporate and dry out over just a 2 weeks period.
Yeah.
If you have a good seal on it, it won't.
That makes sense. Matt, are you talking about the video that you posted 7 hours ago? Because I will just pull that up right now on my phone. And that's how I will do it. And then I will hand that phone over and you can look. See if you see any hygro polysperma or what. See, we are in the same room. I just handed my phone over to him.
Like a spooky ghost.
Yes.
And teleported.
Spooky.
Oh, God. That's the end of that short video. Oh, it's 20 seconds long. Okay, well, let's go back. Zoom. Can we zoom? No, not really. Can we zoom? Enhance.
I think the only way to zoom would be to take a picture and then zoom the picture.
Enhance. Yeah, I mean, that looks like hygro polysperma. I mean, it doesn't really look distinctly like anything else at this point from this video right here. Oh, God, copyright strike. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, no. Anyhow, yeah, I mean, it looks like hygro polysperma. But it looks like the emergent version, right? Like, it looks like it's been growing emergent in kind of poor lighting and stuff. So with all new plants that you get in, you definitely want to take into consideration that they've been grown emergent. Almost every plant supplier out there does it that way. Most of them are located in South America or parts of more poorer parts of like, Asia. Most of the plant growers out there are in lower economic areas, and they're not going to be spending a ton of money to be growing your plants in a fancy way, which means underwater, right? It's more cost effective for them to grow them up into the air, right?
Right. And that does look like my hygro polysperma when it breaks the surface of the water. I would assume.
More to kind of what I was like elucidating on there is that if you get plants in from any plant supplier, you got to convert them before identifying them, unless you know the emergent identification of said plant. Because let's say you bought something that you thought was high grow polysperma, you get the emergent version and you're like a little bit confused because the only comparisons you have is the submerged version. So that's what you want to do is convert that plant to growing underwater. Then you can really start to delve into identifying it, get some good clear pictures, probably post them up on some forums or something like that. Or has it been a half an hour? Oh, it has not been a half an hour, but we got to do it. Or become a member today and join up on the Discord and post pictures up on there. And then when you're a member, oh my God, you could be on the Discord and you could play Minecraft and you could post pictures and you could do all sorts of crazy stuff and you could help make a YouTube video. Whatever. Moving on. Yeah. So once you've got it like fully grown underwater, you can really start to delve into identifying it, especially in comparison to other references that you can find, especially online, right? Because there's not a lot of people posting emergent identification of aquarium plants, right? Because most hobbyists and everybody are like trying to establish the submerged grown varietals, and that's pretty much what everybody's striving for anyhow, right? So
right. Unless it's one of those plants that happens to also be in the terrestrial plant hobby, which happens sometimes, and sometimes you'd be like, but I grow that plant underwater,
right?
But you got it in a pot outside.
So okay. It's like like dwarf baby tears, the HC Cuba, right? That grows terrestrially really well if you have warm weather.
Ooh.
It grows really cool outside if you have warm weather. And you can keep it relatively moist. It doesn't have to be crazy wet or anything like that, but as long as you can keep it relatively moist. Like one of my favorite guys, Tom Barr, he was showing me all of his HC that he's got growing outside last time I was down there, and it's like, oh, wow, that actually is really cool. It not only looks cool in pictures, it actually looks cool in person. And grows like a really cool lawn effect. And he was saying that just how easy it is to maintain it too. I just haven't had any spots to grow it outside that I knew I would take care of to keep it warm. Like most everything we have outside, it's like, oh, there's our first frost. Oh crap. Well, I guess we'll be cleaning up the garden now.
Yeah.
So, although we do have a lot more projects outside than most average people do, but whatever.
I like having outside projects. It's fun because I have a yard finally for the first time since I suppose technically I wasn't allowed to have outside projects when I was a kid because that was my parents' domain. So this is the first time that I've had that. My mom or whatever, she's like, I didn't know that you liked growing plants and stuff. And I'm like, yeah.
Some people's parents don't hang out with their kids all that much. I don't want to be one of those parents. I like hanging out with my daughter.
It's fun times.
She's one of my favorite people. Just telling you.
She always wants to get out the mermaids when she sees me. And then I specifically ask for the blue one because I know she prefers the pink one.
She loves showing off those mermaids. I don't know. She never talks about mermaids unless other people are around, other people. She doesn't bring them up with me. But then again, she talks with me about all sorts of stuff. So she's still 3, so she's into it. She wants to talk to Dad.
She just wants
to
show him off.
Probably gonna get older and then be like, "Oh, Dad's gross. Dad's stupid. Oh my God." And be like, "Oh, Valley Girl. All right." But we'll see.
One day.
But we shall see.
Yeah. One of these days.
She'll probably turn out all right.
Yeah.
Ish. At the very least. Right? Anyhow, what were we talking about? Plants? Yeah.
We were talking about polysperma, but I think we've pretty much solved that mystery. And growing stuff outside. Aw, your mom actually gave you a corner of the garden to play with? That's amazing.
That's pretty cool.
I was just told to weed.
To weed?
Yeah.
Oh, you just had to weed.
Yep, that's it. I didn't have anything else to do in the garden other than weeding and picking the tomatoes.
And picking the tomatoes.
Yep.
I think kids definitely get brought in on picking tomatoes because it's like that's the most annoying thing when you grow lots of tomatoes and now you got to pick them all. It's like, God, this is out of control. They grow robustly. I don't know about you guys, but out where we live, them tomatoes is out of control. They grew up like 9 feet tall one year.
Oh yeah.
We were like, oh my God, what the hell? Because it turns out Vicky forgot to trim them when they.
Yeah.
I forget what you call that when they and then
you're supposed to.
You gotta knock them down.
You're supposed to.
There's a name for it.
You're supposed to trim the suckers off, so that they don't get.
And the suckers too.
Yeah, and in order to prevent the plant from wasting too much energy.
I think that was the year that Vicky was pregnant, so I don't blame her for any of that.
Yeah.
I wasn't even growing a baby at all.
Right.
I wasn't even doing. I was just staring off into the.
Just watching the tomatoes grow.
Yeah, I was probably just staring directly into the sun or something.
An extra like 3 inches every day.
Typical behavior. Just drool coming out of my mouth, like, oh God, what do I do now?
So from last year, we have so many tomatoes still in the freezer that I'm not even gonna plant tomatoes this year.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm doing now is I'm spreading out my onions.
Mm-hmm.
Which overwintered just fine, I guess. So I don't know what they're gonna do. It seems what it is the green onions.
Yeah.
And I think what they do is they spread kind of like crips do.
Mm-hmm.
And see, that's where my knowledge comes from, is from aquatic plants. I'm like, oh, they just kind of, and then now there's a lot. You plant one, and then there's a lot. And so now I've got a lot, and I'm spreading them out all through that entire bed, and I will have a whole bunch of green onions, and that just means that our cooking is going to be delicious.
Deadhead? It might be calling deadhead in the tomatoes. That might be what it's called. I'm not sure, but that might be what it's called. Deadhead. There's some kind of terminology where the tomatoes grow up, and then they hit the top of the cage, and then you give them a whole wackadoo because you're like, hey, it's springtime, chief.
Mm-hmm.
Like late spring, early summer. Late spring. I think it's like late spring. And then you whack them down to the appropriate height. Otherwise, they get fully turgid up into the sky. And you're like...
And then they collapse over.
Yeah, and then they fall over and kill themselves. And you're like, dude, what are you doing, stupid? What are you, like just some dumb tomato plant or something? Oh my God, we have a new member.
Holy cow.
We have a new YouTube member.
Thank you, Matthew.
Matthew Smith has become a YouTube member.
Nice. And I think you just recently refreshed the Discord link on the community tab, and so he should be able to just go over there and click on it if he wants to.
Yeah, you should be able to.
If you want to.
If you want to.
No pressure.
You better. I mean,
it is fun over there.
The Discord is, so people don't, I guess one of the reasons I brought up Corey's video from over the weekend, because I think it was yesterday it came out, so it's like fresh in my mind. I did watch it, and he was kind of talking about how he wants to kind of restrict the amount of interaction he's having with negative input, right? Which makes sense to me. I to me, I'm like, yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Why waste your time? Just interacting with all this negativity. It's just it's a bit much, right? And that for me is like, that's one of the reasons why I'm on the Discord. Is because we have a bunch of people that are sort of incentivized to be a part of the community without like being intentionally toxic and negative. And somebody asked me, they go like, well, I don't understand, like, why do I have to be a member or a patron? And I go, you could be a patron for $10.80 for a whole year, which is less than $1 a month. I don't even know the math on that. And it would give you access to our community, right? And then you could be a part of it. And they're like, well, I don't know if I want to do that. And I'm like, then that's fine. You don't have to.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just a form of gatekeeping. And gatekeeping has like it has a bad ring to it or whatever. But I don't want to have to spend like a ton of extra energy dealing with like super negative people all the time. I already have to do that on YouTube. I already have to do that on Facebook. I already have to do that on Instagram. I already have to do that on... I don't even do Twitter anymore. Those people are insane. I can't deal with it. I'm not incentivized to do it. I was on Reddit like a million years ago, and I was like, I can't deal with these Reddit people. They're bonkers too.
Yeah.
And admittedly, like the only reason I'm on Facebook is that I have a bunch of old friends on there. And by that, I mean old many years, but I also mean old as in old boomers, right? Like there's old boomers don't have any time to be on any other website, right? They're like, I heard them on the face pages. Oh my God. And you're like, all right, well, I'd like to be able to get a hold of you, old man Winter. So I shall stay.
Mm-hmm.
And people wonder, like, somebody contacted me through somebody else to be like, why did you block whatever person, right? And I'm like, because they were shouting at me a bunch of nonsense and misinformation on Facebook, and I tried to level with them for a couple minutes, and they didn't want to be leveled with, and they continued to be irrational, and they continue to just like scroll through and start shouting at every person that has ever commented on anything on my Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
And they were being totally irrational. And they're like, yeah, but what about freedom of speech? And I'm like, this has nothing to do with freedom of speech. It's freedom of access to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
To this guy. All I've done is restricted their access to me.
Mm-hmm.
I've eliminated them from being able to interact with this dude. That's all I've done.
Right.
And they go, oh, I didn't even think about it like that at all. And I'm like, yeah. It has nothing to do with them. Feel free to be crazy. That's not my problem. You can yell at people all you want. You can't yell at me all you want. Because I'll just be like, well, you got to go. Bye-bye. And this is somebody that I grew up next to. Like, I think I grew up, like, probably 3 or 4 blocks from them or something.
Oh.
And so it's like, yeah, I've known this person for 35 years or something crazy like that. And it's just like, and like I'm being mistreated and I don't like it. So I'm going to say no.
Right.
And I said no multiple times by saying no, and they didn't like that. So now they got to go no, bye-bye and go away.
Right.
And
if it was real life,
get my phone number from somebody and call me and have a talk about it or something, I guess. But
if it was real life, you'd be able to close the door.
Yeah. I mean, I've talked to people from the internet that I've only ever known from the internet that go, you need to call me. Call me. I need to talk to you. Okay. And I've actually done okay, I'll call them and talk to them. And I go, I would much rather talk to you in a public platform. Call into my show. I'll talk to you on my show. No, I don't want to do that, but you better understand where I'm coming from, blah, 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 right? And it's like, then why don't we do this in public if that's what's going on here? Oh, I don't want to have anything to do with that. I don't want anybody to know it's me or this and that and the other thing. It's like, okay, then bye-bye. Like, we're good. I got to go. I ain't got time for this. Like, you can't be pulling this, I'm going to criticize you from the void.
Mm-hmm.
From like, and have no responsibility about like what I'm doing, right? But you get to bear the burden of all these bad feelings and just feeling like crap.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, nah, dude.
But you don't like that?
I don't like that. No, I don't like that. I'm not a masochist. I'm sorry.
I thought everybody just liked being, public toilet pretty much.
That's a very small percentage of the population that has that thing going on.
I know.
Speaking of that, what is it with weird people and their feet stuff? Do you have feet stuff? Are you a feet stuff person?
No.
Okay.
I just have feet, and then there are feet, and that's it. I'm like neutral about it. Like, I don't hate them, and I don't like them either.
I could say that I'm neutral about it, but also like, I guess I'm neutral about it, but also like, ew, you've been walking around on all sorts of stuff, and Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know.
I like puppy toes
I'm
and
gonna
kitty
ostracize
toes.
the people that are watching right now that are into feet stuff. They're being ostracized.
It's like it's okay if you're into feet stuff. It's just
not
not
okay.
everybody is.
I'm not.
That's all that. That's all that it is.
It's a bit much.
Anyway.
Matt says I don't blame Corey at all. Did you see the awful video that Kevin dude put up? Just awful. No, I didn't. Actually, message it to me on Discord.
Yeah.
Since now you're a member, you can come on to Discord.
Yeah, he says he knows how to use Discord, so there you go.
Okay.
But like I remember, so I didn't see the stream that Corey did that caused the most recent kerfuffle, but I did have people contacting me like, "Oh, did you see?" You know,
what happened? What's the
oh,
problem?
he just said something about anoxic filtration and how he doesn't like it or something like that.
Oh.
And so then everybody's like, "What? How do you not like it?" Just throwing things around and just.
I mean, I've see, the thing is, like, people have asked me about anoxic filtration, and I've given like my take on it. Like, I don't like it. I don't like to promulgate it. I don't like to promote it because it's too many steps to do the same thing with aerobic bacteria versus anaerobic bacteria. So you have to, anaerobic bacteria, you have to starve the system of oxygen and flow and a bunch of other oxygen, flow, light, and one other thing, which escapes me right now. But there's a lot of things that you have to do to get anoxic filters to work. The basic, if you want to learn the basics about anoxic filtration, look up a septic system.
Okay, yeah.
That's how you do it. But even with septic systems these days, most of them are being upgraded to have, guess what?
Aeration
in them, so that they can promote aerobic bacterial growth in order to produce a better result. And so, like, the reasons that I bring that stuff up is that I would just go, what's more important in the world, right? And the way that I would say that is that, like, what do humans value more, the health of fish or the health of people? And I mean, almost every company, corporation, human interest in everything is that the humans survive, right? And if we're talking about septic systems, like a perfect example is like Bill Nye the Science Guy, and this is the first time I got really clued into just how much value should be put on plumbing. I think about 10 years ago or something, somebody was asking Bill Nye the Science Guy, like, what do you think's the best innovation that man has ever created, blah, 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 for the change of or advancement of humanity or whatever. And he just, like, immediately off the cuff went, plumbing. Plumbing is the biggest, that by far and away. By far, the numbers are gigantic. Like, and I went to go look that up because I was like, come on now, like, antibiotics, blah, blah, energy production, blah, blah, blah. And no, it's plumbing. Like, it's the most important thing for, like, the health of humanity is to have good plumbing. And so all of this research and design and all of this just countless amount of effort going into maintaining and building and designing septic systems so that they will work better, right? And they're going like, oh, we're going to add aerobic, we're going to add, what's the way to put it? Like aerobic system as opposed to the anoxic system to your individual home, because like we can just do this. Like, oh, we can aerate the water and create a little bit of current or a little bit of flow in that chamber with air, and like, oh my God, it's going to promote like so much more bacterial growth to break down all of these toxins to, save you money, but mainly increase your health, right? Like, and increase the ability for your septic system to work properly. Jake Vargo says, I'm a wastewater operator. We have aerobic and anaerobic digesters. If I were given the choice between the two, it would be aerobic all day long. And that's always been my it's always been my opinion and my researched opinion that promoting aerobic bacterial colonies within your aquarium is so much easier for the individual human to do versus trying to promote an aerobic system. I've tried them both. I've done side-by-side tests with them. I've done tests with them within the same system and gotten readings with the anoxic filtration running with limited oxygen, and then later on gone, okay, let me add aerobic bacterial to this, and the system ran so much better that it's like, this is the much easier way for an average human to do, is to create some flow and add some air and have some place for the bacteria to grow, which doesn't mean you need to buy any special media or anything crazy like that. All you need is surface. If there's surface with water, it's going to grow bacteria in there. Like, there's no reason for the bacteria to not grow. It's a part of our planet. And so, yeah, Brandon says it's also not his specialty to give advice on. People could just watch Kevin Novak if they want to learn more.
Right.
And here's the thing. Like, I think Kevin Novak seems to be a pretty smart guy. I don't have anything off the top of my head as far as like a criticism goes. I guess I could make a video about it. But I've seen videos from that guy where there's been some suspect things. And like I said, I don't have specific examples off the top of my head, but because I wasn't prepared to even talk about that today. And so I'm just letting you know this has come up in the past of people going like, what is going on here? And so I would always remind people to take everything with a grain of salt, do some research, find some corroborated studies, find peer-reviewed studies, find studies that actually have like double-blind tests and all that kind of stuff, the actual results, numerous results, not anecdotal stuff like I just told you about my anecdotal story. But find things that actually have corroborated information. And if somebody's going to attack anybody for being on a live stream and just saying, oh, well, here's kind of what's off the top of my head, like that's a little bit bonkers, right? To be like, oh my God, that's not your place to give anybody's opinion. Da, 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 da. Like, okay, I guess technically it's true that you shouldn't give an opinion about anything ever, right? But if you're also like asking somebody of their opinion and then they give it to you and then now you're criticizing somebody for giving you their opinion, it's a little bit weird. Alana Suki says, I can't even get the beginner people I deal with to follow basic care advice. There's no way they're going to do things more complicated. Yeah.
Yep.
Whoever Justin V Boys is, post some emojis. I don't know what that means.
Justin
it sounds like it's really
the boys.
yeah. It sounds like it's really complicated, and most beginning people aren't going to be able to deal with doing all that. That's ultimately the thing. And if you really want to kind of like start out your research on anoxic filtration within the aquarium hobby, what you'd want to look into is deep sand beds with saltwater fish tanks, because that's really where the whole craze kind of kicked off. And where a lot of that comes from is people going, oh, we want to adapt that to our freshwater aquarium. But one of the big issues that I'll tell you is that like in the saltwater community, in the reef community, whatever you want to call them, the fish fam reefers, I don't know. A lot of people,
the reefers, they got the reefer madness.
They've got the reefer madness. A lot of people jumped into those deep sand beds and trying to do anoxic filtration. Some people had a lot of success. Some people had a lot of failure. And to me, I would rather have a constant and consistent middle to upper result, right? Like, let's say you're always getting a C+, right?
Right.
It would be nice to be able to count on getting a C+ versus, oh, I got an A+ or a complete and utter fail, especially when it applies to the health of your fish, your shrimp, your snails, your plants, your corals, your whatever. Like the list goes on and on. But all of the things that you're trying to keep alive, and you go, oh my God, they're either wildly robust or dead, right? And so I would much rather like promote people to be having consistent, decent results as opposed to going, well, you could be right in the razor's edge of total failure, or, you know,
Yeah.
or like imaginary success.
Right. Right. And it is significantly easier to talk about a more beginner way to do things that actually does work versus something that requires way more education than a lot of people, because the anoxic filtration requires a lot more like background education before you can start to do that.
Right.
And so it's one of those things that people would look up on their own, as opposed to expecting Corey from Aquarium Co-op, who tends to deal mostly with the beginners of the hobby.
Right.
So it's not really the right place for that, to be honest. Yeah. Yeah. But that being said, I just thought that the internet exploding about it was kind of crazy. And
here's the thing. None of that even hit my desk.
It just hit me because I have a lot of friends that are from not America, and they're like, did you hear? Because they know that I know who Corey is and that we live geographically close.
Right. Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, the thing to me is that like none of this stuff even hits my desk, because I'm like, realistically in my mind, I'm just like, I would say that I'm like cursory interested if somebody had something beneficial to say. If somebody was like, here's a new study out. Somebody put together 1,500 tanks.
Mm-hmm.
750 of them had anoxic. Some of them had 750 of them had aerobic, or 500 had anoxic, 500 had aerobic, 500 had none.
Yeah.
And then they compared them all, and look at all this like studied evidence over a period of time to find out to find all of these results. And I would go like, oh wow, let me check that out, right? Whereas the reality is, more often than not, it's like somebody probably made like a terrible YouTube video of being like, F this guy for right? And you're like, okay, have I just like completely wasted my time listening to this like some 20-minute rant video from some relative idiot? I don't know who it's from, or I don't even know really like what we're specifically talking about. I guess if somebody wants to send me these videos or whatever, I'll take a look at them, and I guess I'll respond to them if I feel like there's even anything to be responded to.
Right.
But there's just like so much chaff on the internet nowadays that oftentimes it all just boils down to some kind of like personality battle, where it's like, do you like my personality better than the other guy's personality? And so now you feel like you're part of the group because I got a gun and an American flag in my background, so we must be simpatico, like I think like you because I got my rifle back here.
Mm-hmm.
I got my American flag, have you emailed me? If you've emailed me and I haven't responded, you may or may not have accidentally gotten filtered out.
It's possible. That with this segue though, I am going to be on the Aquatic Morning Show in the morning tomorrow, which is going to be at the ridiculous hour to me of 7 a.m. But I will make it happen.
The Aquatic Morning Show?
Yep.
If you emailed me, you maybe got it wrong, or it somehow got lost in the chaff. Re-email me if that's the case. If not, you can go ahead and send me snail mail at 555-5555-5555 Eastwood Avenue. I don't know. But if I somehow didn't get your email, that may or may not be the case. I get a lot of email, and I spend my morning looking over it.
If it's in the spam, it's probably from a whole week ago.
I don't even look at my spam folder.
Right.
Spam folder. Oh my God! Somebody wants me to be a influencer.
All right. Well.
Hair transplants. Oh my God! Hair transplants, guys. We could be a hair transplant ambassador.
You could get hair transplants on the ends of your ears.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
You look like a werewolf.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Thanks,
So
Jess.
I don't know. What's my email address? Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Reach out to Alyssa if you already talked to her. If you don't talk to Alyssa, don't reach out to her. But if you already talk with her, then do that.
She did.
I'm saying to the other people.
Oh, right.
The other people that are listening.
Okay.
But yeah. Oh my God, Fish Tank Barn's here. What's up, buddy? You showed up late.
But he's here now. For all we know, he was just being real quiet the whole time.
Could be. But we are 2 hours in, and that's going to be it for today. Believe you me. Oh, hold on. Here's how we have to do the end of the show now. Hold on. I got to copy this. I got to copy this link right here. Okay. And then I got to Control V, put it in there. Oh my God! If you want us to do a longer show, you got to become a member today. Honk honk. I don't have my soundboards on. It's locked up. I packed everything.
It's in a box somewhere.
It's in a box somewhere. I don't know. Yeah, if you want us to do a longer show, if you want us to have a more interactive show, if you want us to have a sound guy here that can do beep beeps and honk honks in the background or something, yeah, we're gonna need some more members. I don't even know what our total is right now. I should have probably looked it up earlier. Reloading. 67. We only have 77, guys. As I told you before, I'll tell you again. If we reach 500, I'll get the moist tattoo. But we have not even come close. So we need more support if we're going to do more work. If not, I'm just going to continue doing what, I don't know. I'm just going to keep doing whatever we're doing, right?
Yeah.
Is that nice? Did I say that wrong?
We're just going to keep on keeping on.
Yeah, we're going to keep on keeping on. If you haven't subscribed to Alyssa's usual Tubles Mick channel, oh my God. I got to undo what I just did. There we go. All right. Copy. Control V. Oh. Okay. There's her YouTube channel link in the chat, and you should go become a subscriber. Subscribe today. Big shout out to Matthew Smith for becoming a member. Head over to the community tab. You'll be able to find the Discord link if you spin over there. And I lost our super chat. Who was our super chat earlier? Will M, I think. Will, the $20 super chat. Thank you very much. Thank you very mucho, amigo.
Heck yeah, it's great. It's fantastic.
All right, I'm gonna push this button over here. You ready? Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You primed?
I'm so ready. Oh! I'm gonna go Super Saiyan.